nursery raising. The topic we are going to cover today is the nursery raisins. So let us go to the definition of nursery. As you know, nursery is a place where seedlings, cuttings and grafts are raised with care before transplanting. Rising of seedlings in a nursery is very important for various reasons. So we are also going to discuss the importance of nursery today. The importance of nursery. The first thing, it is possible to grow and maintain a large number of plants per unit area. And small and expensive hybrid seeds can be raised more effectively due to better care and management, because we know that these hybrid seedlings needs more care. So that can be done in a nursery with intensive care. And when the next one is the when seeds are sown in seed beds, their germination percentage increases and the vigor of the seedlings also improves, because we can take the care of the seedlings. The management of seedlings can be done in a better way with minimum care cost and maintenance, as the nursery area is small. So if it is in the main field, then it is very difficult to maintain the seedlings, but if it is in the nursery, then it is in a small area, so it is a advantage to take care of the seedlings. The next point is the manipulation of growing conditions for plants become easy, because some seedlings need shade and some seedlings needs the more care for growing, so that can be manipulated in a nursery, because we can maintain the shade house according to the requirement of the plant. Then the next point is the better and uniform crop growth can be obtained in the main field by selecting vigorous and healthy seedlings. So out of this we can select the healthy one. And the next point is that off-season sowing of seeds become possible, which ultimately result in fetching more returns, because as you know that off-season vegetable seedlings or off-season crops are more income generating. Okay, so that's why so that can be done in the nursery, because they need the some other cares than the normal condition, so that can be manipulated in a nursery. So that is one important advantage for this nursery. Then the seed requirement of nursery raised crop is less as compared to direct seed sowing of the same crop due to better management. When we are going for direct seeding crops, then some of the growth of the field is not uniform, and because some will be growing very easily and some may not. So if we are going for transplanting, then it will give a uniform crop. Okay. And sowing seeds in a nursery allows additional time for doing preparatory tillage in the main plot. And harvesting of the previous crop can also be prolonged if needed, because we are sowing the seeds in the nursery. So the seedlings are growing in the nursery. So we are if after that only we can go for the preparation of the main field, then we get the time to prepare the main field. So that is also a advantage. And the last one is the management of insect pest disease, which is easy in the nursery because it is in a compact area. So you can manage the insect pest disease easily better than the main field. And for preparation of a nursery, The selection of site is an important factor which one should consider before establishing a nursery. The and for the selection criteria, number one is the nursery area should be nearer to the water source, because water is the important factor for a nursery, because plant need water regularly. Then generally the location should be partially shaded and the trees, if not artificial shade, is to be provided, because the most of the seedlings are very delicate and they need the shade. So that can be done in a nursery. So that is also important. And the next one is the it should be well protected from animals, because nursery is a small area, not like the bigger one as the main field. So that can be protected by wall or some fencing, so it is possible. Otherwise it is not possible in the main field, because it is the bigger one, no? Then the next one is the proper drainage facilities should be provided. It's because if there is water stagnations, then the seedling will die. So drainage must be proper one. And the next criteria or the points should be considered in selecting site is the soil must preferably be loam or sandy loam with large quantity of organic matters. The pH of the soil must be neutral, that is the 6.5 or 7.5, and it must have adequate water retention capacity and aerations. Because if it is clay soil, then it is compact, and if it is sandy soil, then also there will be no water retentions. So for water retentions, this helps by this organic matters, so organic matter must be there, and loamy soils are preferred for the growth of the seedlings. The nursery site must be accessible by road. It is also one important point, because transportation is easy when it is in the roadside, and the peoples come, because that is uh, very easy, then they can enter in the nursery if it is in the roadsides. It must not be far from the potential market, so that there is no damage of the seedlings during their transportations, because seedlings are very difficult, very delicate. So if you are transporting to a long distance, then that may dry. So it is important that the location of the nursery is also one important point. And at nursery work is very laborious, so labor facility must be there, and enough, because enough number of laborers is required, because these plants seedlings need this intensive cares. So labor availability must be there. So these are the point must be one must consider before opening a nursery for selecting a site. Then market needs and size is also important factors when we consider for opening a nursery, because market plays an important role in the success of the nursery business, and various type of inputs like seeds, fertilizer, pesticide, fungicide, plant growth regulators, poly bags, agricultural implements, different type of spare parts and other miscellaneous items required in the nursery must be available in the nearby market, because these things are very much essential for nursery, so this should be available in time. The nursery must be located near the city or an area from where people can purchase the plant, because customer is also important. uh, so if it is near a city, then it is more beneficial. Then alternatively, a mechanism to explore domestic and international market must also be worked out for the success of the nursery business. Then we go for the different types of nursery or classification of nurseries. So different types of nurseries are available according to the need of the peoples. So these are classified on the mainly on the basis of the durations, then the plant produce and the structure used. And on the basis of durations, this nursery is divided into temporary nurseries and permanent nursery. In case of temporary nursery, it is only to develop some seasonal, it is developed to fulfill the seasonal requirement or a targeted project. Such a nursery is usually small in size and is set up for a short period, after which it is abandoned. And temporary nurseries are mostly used for raising seedlings of vegetables and flower crops, and such nurseries are found near the main planting area. Because what happened, because these are very temporary, because this is for the seasonal requirement only, for seasonal vegetables and seasonal flowers. So for that requirement, they in a small area they prepared the nursery and sold the seeds, the seedlings, and then after that the nursery area become abandoned. Then some advantages and disadvantages of this temporary nursery, and the, among the advantages, the number one is the mortality or injury due to shock of lifting and transportation of seedlings is negligible due to less distance between the nursery and the actual planting site, because mainly these types of nursery are nearer to the main field. So this damage during transportation is less. And initial investment in this temporary nursery is less as compared to a permanent one, because it is temporary, so no need of these high-tech facilities, only for the seasonal one, so that's why this cost is very less. So that is one advantage for this temporary nursery. But these types of nursery have disadvantages also, because of this temporary nature. Basic facilities like irrigation may not be adequate, therefore special arrangement need to be made in order to keep the plants and seedling in healthy conditions. Okay? Because so irrigation is one of the major factor in opening a nursery. So as it is a temporary one, so there is no pumping or water, the manual watering may be done, so that's why it is a disadvantage. Then the next one is a permanent nursery, and in this type of nursery what happens, the plants are nourished and kept for longer period of time till they are sold out or planted permanently in a field. The area covered under such a nursery is larger than the temporary nursery, and it has all features that are required in a permanent nursery. Such type of nursery requires intensive management and supervision, because these are the nursery where these are permanent, so permanent structures are there, permanent facilities are there. So these types of nurseries, plants are will be there in the nursery until it is sold out. Then the advantages of this permanent nursery, number one is the greater range of planting stock, such as seedlings, grafted plants, budded plants, layered, rooted cuttings are available. Being permanent in nature, it becomes a perpetual source for the supply of planting material for many years. Being concentrated at one place, its supervision management is better due to availability of permanent staff. The initial production cost is reasonable, but profit go up in the long run. Okay. So these are the advantages of permanent, and the disadvantages are the initial investment cost is high, the transportation cost is more. Such a nursery needs intensive labor management. It must be backed by a large market for the sale of the plants and seedlings. It requires skilled human resources round the year. So these are costly, a bit costly than but the profit is more. And the second classification criteria is on the basis of plant produced. In ornamental nurseries, seedlings, rootstocks and scion materials of ornamental plants are raised and conserved for further use in such a nursery. It includes mother blocks of ornamental plants which are used in layering as well as producing scion material for budding and grafting. The raised and flat beds of nursery are occupied by seedlings of various annuals, perennials, rootstocks and ornamentals. The next types of nursery is the vegetable nursery, and where these vegetable seedlings are grown. Okay. So that's why it is vegetable nursery, and like rooted cuttings of this asparagus, sweet potato, rhizomes of ginger, tubers, bulbs of onions and garlic are raised and conserved in such a nursery. And next one is the fruit plant nursery. In this nursery, seedlings and cuttings of rootstocks, budded plants, grafts, layers and cuttings of fruit trees such as mango, lychee, bar, bell, guava, sapota, etc. are raised and conserved. And the forest nursery, as the name says, this type of nursery includes the trees and climbers that are grown in the forest, and this is for social forestry, and this plantation along the roads or lands, gram panchayat lands, garden, etc. are selected for these types of nursery, are mostly propagated by seeds, and rootstock of different forest plant species and mother plants are raised in a forest nursery. Seedlings of big trees like margosa, gulmohar, kanchan, tamarind, amla are commonly found in these types of nursery. And the last classification on the basis of the structure used, like open field nursery, high-tech nursery. And in open field nursery, what happens? Such a nursery is established in open areas without any permanent structures, usually raised, flat or sunken seed beds are prepared, and these are vulnerable to natural environmental condition. On the basis of natural environments, these nurseries are established. But the next one is the high-tech nursery, and these are dependent on the established and protected structures. And this protected structure in which the nursery can be successfully raised are the thatched roof. In these types of nursery, a thatched roof is constructed over the nursery beds. Then thatched shade net, such as nursery is raised under shade net houses. Different types of shade nets are available in market. So according to the requirement of the seedlings, these shade net nurseries are established, and these give different amount of shade to the plant and based on their requirements. And polytunnel, these types of nursery is covered with a plastic film or the sheet to form a tunnel, and it is miniature structure which produce greenhouse like effect. So this was for today. So again we will meet you in another class. Thank you.